Hi, welcome to another session of How To. Today we're going to look at how to set up your sales tax codes. Sales tax codes are set up in two different modules. One is the AR, which is your accounts receivable. Then they are attached to each one of your customers. Second place, they can be done in your sales module. If you do this in the sales module, then you'll be working with not a tax vendor, but a tax liability number. So it's your choice of what. I'm going to show you how to do it inside the accounts receivable area. When setting up your options, go down and find your accounts receivable. Select Options, Codes, Tax Code. When setting up a tax code or editing a tax code, then you can bring it up, select the word Edit, or if it's brand new, you would select New, put in the code, and then put in the description. Now, codes are 6 characters. In this particular case, the KC means King County, the WA means Washington, and the TX means tax. So it matches the description down here, King County, Washington tax. Now I have 3 levels of this tax. King County gets a share of it, the state of Washington gets a share of it, and the stadium tax gets a share of it. They can be separate tax commissions or all the same. What we're doing here is we're setting up so when prices change on a sales tax, so will the tax percent of each one of the categories that you have chosen. Let's say King County has gone up to 2%. Washington State has stayed the same. And the stadium tax that they collect to pay back the stadium stays also the same. Adding these 3 up becomes the 9.25. That's what the customer would see. They would not see your breakdown. That is strictly for reporting. Cougar separates it for you to make it easy that King County, state of Washington, the stadium tax got their fair share. You collected 9.25% of your customer. When you save that, then when you go out to sales and look at the customer who buys something that has a King County tax on it, then you will see that the amount is correct. The big corporation has a sales tax of King County. We select that, and now it knows when an item is put in that they will be extended in their price. At the same time, the $5.51 has been charged to this $59.40. When posting the invoices, you will see that it posts not only in order the sales order entry as history, the big corporation, the invoice number, and the total amount, including the tax. That's the history of sales. Then the sales account receivable, what was being charged the customer, in this particular case went over, even though it is a customer that shows the tax. They didn't pay anything because the reason is that they paid cash. The inventory, and finally the accounts payable. Now in the accounts payable, King County tax came up with $1.49. Sales tax came up to be $4.02 for the state. So each one of these equals the $5.51 that we saw as our sales tax. And it also selects the breakdown of the $1.49 and the $4.02 in the right categories that you have as general ledger. Now, if you did not select the vendors and you chose just the general ledger numbers, this report would remain exactly the same. 2105, 2100 for the two different accounts. If I go back to accounts payable and look up King County, you would see then as statistics that the $1.49 was purchased or charged last time. You're now ready to send, even though the money is in the $22.90, you're now ready to send a check to King County Tax. Of course, you would wait until your monthly or quarterly report came, and it would verify the amount of money you collected by sales versus the tax. The same could be said in your state. When you look up the state sales tax, they have a different number, but at the same time, their statistics are different. The 404 would be included in that. Reporting would come down and show you the tax. Transactions can be posted or unposted. If you want to look at it prior to posting, you can see this report as the day goes on. If you want to see it in detail, you can pick it. Otherwise, it will be set up as condensed. Now it goes through each one of the sales tax codes that you have set up with the taxes, even returns. If I select just the King County tax and look at it, you would then see the breakdown by the invoices of each one of the tax levels. How much on this particular sale was each one of the tax levels. Going back to the code, remember the first level, KC, is the King County tax. WA is the Washington tax, and TX or Stadium would be the Stadium tax. So it's easy to read these reports if they're set up right by the codes. You then get to see the sales amount, the total tax on each one of the sales amount, and how much tax was collected. Then you see the breakdown of the taxes. Total tax collected, $44,000 on the $506,000 worth of sales. That concludes the how-to of sales taxes. And if you have any other questions, feel free to call our customer service department at 800-388-3038, and they'll be glad to assist you. Thanks for coming in and watching another how-to.